I'm often asked by people on my Facebook page and comment on my YouTube videos asking if I do any other form of modelling. And apart from being a sock model for Calvin Klein, I tend to model some model ships and aircraft. And this particular one, RMS Titanic, is one of my prized possessions. It's a Revell 1:570 scale, I think, that I built back in 2009, 2010. It's been in its bespoke made display case ever since, so I'll take the cover off and we'll have a closer look at it. I'll start with the bow of Titanic. I've managed to pick out the gold line between the white and the black. You might be able to just see it there, the fine kind of golden line, the yellow line that it had running along it. A lot of masking was done to build this model. A lot of masking tape was used at the time. The area here is all one plastic moulding, so all the black anchor chains and whatnot, they are all picked out in black, and it took a lot of effort and a lot of careful hand painting to do all of that. Most of the model was airbrushed. It was actually my first ever airbrushed model from top to bottom. I very rarely used any form of hand brushing here. It was almost a challenge to me to see how much I could airbrush, and I'm glad I did, because I learned a lot about airbrushing, and I got a great finish on it as well. If I just move, using terminology, move aft to the front funnel and the bridge there, there are a lot of separate decks here, and even if you look in the little windows on the upper decks, there is deck behind that, and it was a pain in the backside to get all to fit together, because obviously the mouldings are warped and whatever. I mean, I don't know how old this particular moulding is from Revell, but it's certainly not new. So it required a bit of work at the time to get everything just so and just fitting, especially even the roof of the wheelhouse and the bridge there, to get it sitting properly onto the mouldings at the front was, as I recall, was quite challenging. I've put some rigging, zoom out a little bit, from the masts and whatnot. It's not totally prototypical, because I wasn't going to fit it all in, and to be honest with you, the mast's quite flexible. I didn't want to snap the mast by putting it under too much tension, so I've just kind of represented the rigging. Okay, looking at the front of Titanic here, the first three funnels anyway, you'll see that they're set back at an angle. This was prototypical because the designer, Sir Thomas Andrews, wanted the ship to be modern, and that was the kind of fashion of the day, to have them swept back slightly, obviously to give the impression of speed and being modern and sophisticated. Okay, so they're picked out in the buff colour yellow with the black tops. Okay, I think I used Humbrol gloss buff for this, and I just then took a satin varnish to it just to dull it down, just to make it more prototypical. This was all done with Humbrol and Revell paints, and they're all enamels. Moving back along the decks, okay, this is the lifeboats. The lifeboats come in a moulding of per 4, and you can see the kind of white plastic adjoining bit there, which is kind of stuck to the deck. That's a wee bit naff, but again, I can see why they've done it. Obviously, one, to make the model accessible to all levels of modeller, and to keep the number of parts down. It would been quite difficult to do the davits and the lifeboats individually on a model of this size, so I know, I forgive them for that. The last funnel wasn't actually a working funnel on Titanic at all. It was a ventilation funnel, and if you watch the film, the 1998 film with DiCaprio and whatnot, you'll see these images of the ship, and there's smoke and smuts pluming from the first 3 funnels, but not the last one, which was just purely for ventilation. However, the reason behind having 4 funnels was it's kind of like exhaust pipes in a sports car. The more exhaust pipes a car has, you think, oh, the better performance, so a BMW M4's got 4 exhaust pipes. Even the latest Golf R has got 4 exhaust pipes, whereas a bottom of the range model might only have 1 exhaust pipe sticking out the back, or even worse, none on show at all. The more exhaust pipes relates to the sportiness, the more funnels of a ship in that era related to the the grandeur, the importance, the size, the scale, the the luxury of the thing. So the last funnel was a bit of a cheat, because there's no engine or boiler rooms under there. They're all further forward, but this was purely for ventilation and a bit of, you know, aesthetics. Moving back to the poop deck, etc. Okay, where so many people clambered in the last minutes of Titanic before they eventually drowned. Again, all the benches are picked out and they're all single moulded parts, although there are a lot of added details here, the cranes and this particular item here. And this particular item here was actually had a steering ship's wheel on it. You could just steer it at the back while it was manoeuvring in port. So, you know, that's quite a modern thing for its day. I've picked out all the cranes sitting in a kind of, you know, half folded position, and just to give them, you know, a presence there. That they could be facing toward each other a bit more, but I've just left them like that. Okay, and if you see the very top of the mast there, it's got the white star emblem on the flag, and at the very back there you've got the blue ensign. Okay, looking at the stern of the ship and working my way down from the flag, we've got the Titanic transfer there, says Titanic Liverpool, on the satin black hull. Then we move down to the rudder there, which was a separately fitted part, and then to the triple screw propellers, which were picked out in a kind of copper colour. The red is Revell hull red. Moving away along the profile of the ship towards the bow, you can see how impressive the ship actually is. It must have been a sight in real life. A modern marvel of its day. If you look at the kind of profile there, even towards the bow, they've even managed to get in the moulding the correct angle at the very end here. Okay, which helped it obviously cut through the waves. So I mean, it's quite an impressive model from all angles. I might have a go one day doing a bigger scaled one, but this is impressive enough for me just now.